I'm a school psychologist at Linwood High School. And if you had asked me 3 weeks ago my one wish for education, I would have said more social workers. And so a lot has been said tonight about mental health in schools, but I also don't know if anyone that is not working in mental health truly understands the crisis that our schools are in. I don't speak in hyperbole when I say that our school social workers save lives again and again and again. And we've lost so many lives, we really have, in the school district. And they save them from addiction and gang violence and the most complex problems that you can think of. Every single day, there are lines out their door, around all our doors. And I don't know what it will be like without them. I really don't. They take care of our most vulnerable students. Students that didn't have rides or organizations to get them here today, but who will be at their doors tomorrow morning as they're all here at 1 a.m. And they will see them all and they will help them. And to reallocate them as elementary school counselors to say that they're not being cut is not the same thing. I wrote a letter. I didn't read it. I'll send it to you. I had to speak for my colleagues who do such incredible work, and we need them so badly. And that's all I will say.
This is a bit too high for me. Hi, my name is Katrina Becker, Katie. As a student heavily invested in the arts, it really pains my soul to prioritize the arts over others, especially sports during budget cuts, because it feels like a lack of representation for people who are really just trying their best to represent themselves publicly. And it's kind of painful to your soul because it's basically, I'm sorry. It's a soul-crushing thing because these classes for us were a motivation to go on with our lives and do something with these passions of ours and these hobbies. They're not even hobbies anymore. They're just our dreams for our future and our lives, and watching visual arts and photography and all of these things I loved and enjoyed being cut. That's the only reason, honestly, without these classes and these teachers that I love that have speaked here today, I probably would have overdosed last year. But we have all these people. We have a whole orchestra band. We have all these people outside. We did a whole concert. And in reality, it's the disappointment of the suggestion to take away our representation for our passion. And I want you to look at me dead in the eyes, and I want to ask you, I want to tell you, this is who you're representing. You're representing the students, you're representing the neurodivergent students, the students who want help, and the students who are fighting for what they believe in. And I think that that's really important, especially with the teachers. And so we were talking about solutions. I have 3 solutions, and I think I've ranked them pretty well based on importance. I think the most reasonable one would be to lay off people who, there's superintendents, there's sub-superintendents, there's sub-superintendents of the sub-superintendents, and it goes on and on and on. And they're getting paid mass amounts, and I think the most reasonable option is to lay off a few of those, and if that doesn't work, it would be better to spread out the cuts between different departments in order to, so for example, we have cross-country and we have track. Maybe we could merge those into just track. We can, sorry. That's not a great idea. I'm very sorry, okay? I don't know much about sports. I'm not good with sports, okay? But maybe cutting certain sports and cutting certain arts and cutting down different things to balance the different areas. And I think lastly, the best option would be cutting down on... Okay, I'm regretting everything I just said, but I'm not very good at public speaking, but what I'm trying to say is it's important for our representation to be held throughout our specific years, no matter the age and no matter the area.
First, I want to excuse myself because at this time of the day, the English goes off and the Spanish takes over. So bear with me for a minute. Hi, my name is Natalia, and my son Alan has been a student at AECC for the last 2 years. He is 4 years old, he's autistic, and he has an IEP. He was in the developmental preschool last year, also in Alderwood. I've been worried for a while about the increasing number of students in his classroom. I was so excited about the idea of him being in a classroom with other peers, but his classroom has double size since last year, and the teachers are spread thinner than I think it's even physically possible. Last week I heard about the plans that the school district had to close Woodway, and my worries increased because they are moving, I suppose the students are moving to Alderwood. Yesterday I learned about the changes about the school program and how it's going to affect the kids, the families, and the professionals. Now I'm worried and angry. I'm very angry. I don't have words to express how grateful I am to the teachers, the paraeducators, the speech therapists, and some of them are right there. They have helped my kid grow beyond my wildest dreams. He's not the same kid that started last year. They have given me a shoulder to cry on, like this, and an ear when I needed one, and a push when I needed a push, when I was scared about something or I didn't know what to do. They would kick my butt and get me going. And with these changes, kids like my son are facing next year in a preschool that looks totally different for what they know. They are losing the people that they have been able to make connections with, and that with an autistic kid is everything. It's everything. I hope you reconsider this and don't cut the budget and don't change the way our preschools work. And I also have to warn you that parents of special kids are a very rare species. We don't let go. We don't give up. We are resilient. So take that in question. Thank you.
Gotta do this before my phone dies. I'm Natalie Moore. I'm a parent of the ESD. Last week, my 8-year-old walked out of his music class and almost out the front doors of the school. He was stopped by our school's student intervention coordinator. Why? How did he make it that far? The answer is simple. We do not have the staffing to meet his IEP dedicated needs. This isn't an isolated event. Because the plan laid out in his IEP isn't staffed, he has been wandering the halls when he leaves class. We can't meet the needs of our special education students, yet we have proposed more cuts. My 3rd grader is a wonderful, intelligent, and very loved member of Mount Lake Terrace Elementary. He has sensory processing disorder. He is on the autism spectrum. He has ADHD, and on top of that, he has anxiety. He is in a general education classroom. He is supported throughout the day by paraeducators. When I was a child, I was segregated in a special education class. This was 35 years ago, before IEPs were a thing. I had to be pulled from the school in the public school system. I don't want to do that to my child. I had to be put in private school to continue my education and get the support I needed. Denying children equal experiences and opportunities to share their perspectives, learn from neurotypical students, and making them targets of bullying is what isolating kids does. We are not keeping the promises currently of our IEPs. How are we going to support that with even more cuts? My family has been lucky. We established his IEP through Alderwood Early Education Center. I have a degree and a background in psychology. We have the resources to be heavily involved in the process, his schooling, and with his staff. Yet, his needs aren't being met. What about families that don't have this privilege? What about families who don't speak English and don't know their rights? We are failing them, and yet we are proposing more cuts. The sync position at our school has been my saving grace since he started kindergarten. That is his safe place to go when his IEP counselor is working from home and isn't there when they send him to her office. This is why he's wandering the halls. There is a lack of support for these students, and now we are making more cuts. I urge you to look at what our levels actually are before we just cut staff, especially paraeducators and syncs. Thank you.
How do you take this off? Before I start, I'd like to ask you all a question. Are you guys actually listening, or you just want to go home? Are you guys listening? All right. Well, I could have started this in a whole different perspective, but after hearing everyone else, I'd like to start it in mine. A significant amount of those in the art program have anxiety, ADHD, autism, ADD, or depression, especially depression. Now, those with depression, when they have an outlet for art, that gives them a new perspective on life, that gives them a career, that gives them the moment to feel meaningness. Because when you don't have meaningness, then what do you want to work for? You know, what do you want to do? If I didn't have art, and if I didn't go to Woodway, because I was class of 2021, I would not be standing here. I would not. And I am glad I am here today. So what you guys need to do is I think you guys need to take action. Do not just cut everything. Do not take a moment and just say, oh, well, I'm just going to cut all these funds. That's going to leave kids in the dirt. They need to have the option to have creative access, to be able to express themselves. You throw a kid in middle school now, and they start from preschool, and they don't know what's art. All they know is finger painting. Then what do? What are you guys doing? You're failing these children. You need to understand that when you were kids, did you enjoy art? Because I'm sure you did, and if you didn't, then, well, that was your own preference. But I have done art ever since I was a kid. And now I am a professional photographer. I enjoy drawing as much as I can. I enjoy expressing myself. I enjoy treating others as an equal, treating everything as an art. I am here to stand before you today that you need to save art. Everything around us has art. The trees are beautiful. Art is beautiful. Everyone is beautiful. But if you take that away, then everything's just black and white. Everything's monotone. But it seems that in this direction, that's what's going on now. We're just becoming black and white. When my grandmother was born in 1938, when she went to school, pardon my French, but it was hell. But you know what she did? She had art. And what she did was drama. And you know what I did? I did drama. I did 2 years of photography, 2 years of drama. I did art classes. I did something called the Explore program, which does not exist anymore. But my mother went to Edmonds Woodway when it came together. and that gave her a creative aspect of art. So if you want to save these kids, if you want to give them a career, you want to make a difference, then figure out your money, but at least leave some art programs to these kids so they can be our future. At least leave something for them so then they know what to do in their future. Thank you. Have a good rest of your morning.
Okay, we have come to the end of our comments, and now I'm going to go on. This is a first reading of Resolution 23-06,